Alright guys, welcome back again to the channel. So it was a record-breaking crowd yesterday as Victor Osimhen enters the city of Istanbul to complete that signature, to join Galatasaray. As the fans, said yesterday, they were going to come out in their numbers. They really did come out in their numbers, because the report is that at the airport alone, they had like 10,000 Galatasaray fans waiting to welcome Victor Osimhen to the club, and it was such an overwhelming feeling, I'm sure for the player, because I mean, when you have like 10,000 people waiting to tell you welcome, you can only imagine how elated, Osimhen would have been. But it's not the first time. The first time he came on loan, he also was shown this kind of love as well. So I mean, you just cannot go wrong with these Galatasaray fans when they show you this kind of love. Obviously, when you get on the pitch to play for them, there's no way you're not going to give 110%, to make sure that you win the game for them. But I mean, at the end of the day, this transfer was obviously a massive one. It was the biggest transfer in Turkish football league history. No player has been signed close to this amount. 75 million euros, was the amount that Gala are meant to pay to Napoli. They've already made like 40 million euros, and then they're going to complete the remaining 35 before 2026. So that's the deal. And Osimhen, of course, is scheduled to undergo his medical today, as I said in previous video, and then he's going to be unveiled in their next match over the weekend. He and Leroy Sané. But it's also interesting to see the plans right now that Gala has concerning the unveiling of Victor Osimhen. The report is that they've now produce up to 100,000 Osimhen jerseys to be sold during his unveiling. And when you look at it, that's going to generate a lot of money. Just to unveil Victor Osimhen, to sell his jersey and things like that. So, I mean, by the time his unveiling happens, I'm sure Galatasaray will have made a lot of money, maybe even up to that amount that they actually spent in buying him. Not just the 100,000, fans that will come to stadium, but also, online sales and all of that. When you include everything, I think it's definitely going to exceed that amount paid for him. But it's so good this is happening. Osimhen came out to talk about it in his word. He said, if you ask me, Galatasaray fans are the best in the world. I mean, just look at the crowds that come to see one player. It shows the amount of love they have for me, and I'm ready to give everything to achieve success with my teammates in the new season. So that's part of what Osimhen said, early on after I completed that move. And also, he says, this is where I have felt the love the most, the feeling of being wanted. I feel safe. My family feels safe. So that's what Osimhen has said. Very happy for him. Of course, wish him all the best in the new season. I know the target now is not going to be just winning the Turkey Super League, because obviously he did that in the first spell as a lone player. And right now they are going to want to set a bigger target for Osimhen and his teammates to win the Champions League. I think that's going to be the ultimate target right now, because of course they cannot pay that amount of money to buy him and then put him on the highest paid salary. I think Mario Kadi is the only person closer to him in terms of salary, and then not expect him to power the team to win the Champions League trophy. It's going to be a far cry. I know they are not even among top 10 or favorites clubs to win the Champions League. Obviously you have to call club side from at least 5 major European leagues, and Turkey Super League is not even one of them. But again, the expectation is going to be high. Can Victor Osimhen get the Champions League for this Galatasaray Football Club? We are going to wait and see about that one. But moving on, guys, let me let you know right now that Tolu Arokodare is under the radar of Atalanta. Of course, Atalanta are very desperate now. They are looking to get a replacement for the outgoing Ademola Lookman. As we talked about before, Lookman is really, really insisting that he wants to leave. He rejected their offer of renewal and wants to join Inter Milan. But Atalanta will not let him go until they are able to get a replacement. So they've now identified Tolu Arokodare as the replacement for the Nigerian winger if he decides to leave. So the report is that Atalanta are admiring Tolu Arokodare, especially because of his physique and his presence, in the attacking area, and also his goal scoring ability because he scored a lot of goals, 20 plus goals last season. So the new coach of the Atalanta side, Ivan Juric, is apparently a huge, huge admirer of the Nigerian international. We did go all out, to sign Tolu Arokodare. Of course, that remains to be seen. For Tolu Arokodare, he is intent on leaving, the Belgian Pro League. He wants to go to a top club in one of Europe's five best leagues. EPL is his favorite choice, based on what he has said previously. But Serie A is not a bad idea, and I think he's going to be willing to follow this deal if they show some serious interest. For Genk, they value Tolu Odai very highly, and they are even warming up to the reality that they might actually lose him this season to a club, who are interested in buying him. And for his release clause, I think it's somewhere around 20 million euros, or thereabouts. So if Atlanta are able to, buy him for that amount and sell, Lookman for around 50, 55 million euros, then obviously I think it's going to be a huge, huge gain for them, obviously. And then for Tolu Arokodare, it's going to be a chance for him to make his mark in one of Europe's top five leagues. So definitely, I'm going to keep tracks on it and then let you guys know as soon as any of this deal, comes into reality. But then let's talk about Stan NWABALI. We've not talked about him for a number of time right now, but this man has returned back to his Chippa United and has been, playing, has been training for preseason and also getting ready for preseason matches. But the latest report right now is that Stan NWABALI is on the verge of actually joining in a Moroccan club side by the name Raja Casablanca. And I mean, if everything goes well, he could leave Chippa United this new season and sign for this club that reportedly wants to pay him, more than he's currently getting at Chippa United. The report is that it's going to probably be around 200,000 euros a year. I mean, looking at this figure, it looks very small, when you compare them with what footballers earn in Europe. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a lot of money, for the Nigeria international. But the day is far from close at this point. There's still a lot of conversations to be had. There's still a lot of paperwork to go through, before this comes to materialize. But we'll keep tabs on that and let you guys know as soon as anything important happens.